Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea.
It's Thursday night tea
with Anthony. Thursday night tea with Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Yeah, baby. It's me, all leathery. And you're gonna do what I tell you to do.
Yes, you are.
You're gonna get on your knees and pray that my leather doesn't chap you. I wish I had on a pair of chaps for you all. I would make you submit. And welcome to Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. We have an all-edition leather show, Leatherette. That's our new name today.
Mercy.
On the show, as always, we have our lovely, wonderful guest from Comfort Zone MD. Give it up for Nikki! She's brought some special leathery treats to spank your bottom with, and we're going to get right down to it when we come back. But we also have American Leatherman Rod McCoy! Just call him Mr. Leather. Right beside him, we have American Leather Woman, Jackie Thompson! Yo, you would only want to tune into this show today because my nipples are out.
All right. Don't be scared.
We're going to go pay these bills, and we'll be right back with more Thursday Night Tea while leathery. Welcome to Lock Love Salon. We're located at 402 8th Street Northeast, Washington, D.C., right in the heart of the capital. Come in, let me introduce you. Welcome to Lock Love Salon. We here at Lock Love are an award-winning natural hair care salon that focuses on natural hair care and lock artistry. We believe in the inherent beauty of natural hair and take a more of an educational, holistic approach to natural hair to preserve hair quality and assure healthy growth. We have an in-salon marketplace stocked to the core, full of essential products to promote healthy hair, which we also use ourselves. All of our stylists are well-versed in all things natural hair care. Locks, extensions, flat twist updos, kid styles. We are here to promote your best you. Come to Lock Love so you can be locked in love, and we'll see you beyond the red door. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Anthony.
Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Yo, we have... This show is going to be crazy today. I can already tell. But today, on a more somber note, ladies and gentlemen, we have to show respect and give respect due to the greatest voice in R&B soul music, the Queen. May she rest in peace. Round of applause for Aretha Franklin. ECT, found out what it means to me. Aretha Franklin has gone on. She has transitioned. Look at Aretha. Aretha was a babe.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she was. Look at her giving a side eye. She's like, what? What you say?
Right. She was real clear.
Yes, look at that. But now you know she blowing right here in this picture. You can tell that she is blowing.
Always knew.
Yeah, that lace front is wrong, but anyway,
That's
yeah,
all right. That's all right.
it'll also be
She's
resting in heaven.
RESPECT.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Leave the lace front alone today.
Yeah. Oh, today.
Too soon.
Too soon. Lace fronts. No, lace fronts are off. They're off limits. But yo, Aretha Franklin was an amazing singer. She was listed as the #1 voice in history, the #1 singing voice. She's at the top of the list. She's sold 75 million albums worldwide. She has a quadrillion awards from Grammys to.
For her only.
It's amazing. She holds so many records. So once again, shout out to Aretha Franklin. Give her a round of applause. And now on to someone who doesn't show a lot of RESPECT. Omarosa! Omarosa! Yeah, I think we have a picture of Omarosa.
Back into my life. I don't know.
So that's the book. Is there a picture of her before? Okay, so that's Omarosa. So go back to her book. So don't let them play in a slide because I'm going to call them out, each one individually. So go back to the book if you can. Hey, it's me with my taco
We
meat.
can't get enough of you, baby.
I know.
It's
So
all right.
Omarosa wrote a book called Unhinged. I mean, if you don't know who Omarosa is, she is a reality star, aka Coon. I heard that.
I didn't.
Yeah, she pretty much sold out her soul to work for Donald Trump. So she was disinvited to all the black cookouts. She could not even look over the fence. They banned her from even looking at the cookout.
But this book is her apology.
So this book is supposedly her apology, but the people are not buying it. They are not buying it.
Did you say literally and figuratively because it's 30% off right now, or what are you saying?
Oops, 30% off. Nikki, I want to hear what you're saying, so you got to talk into the mic.
So basically, I was watching a talk show a night or two ago, and they were saying that the book is already 30% off. So I'm not really sure what that means about the trajectory of the popularity of the book.
Yeah, I don't think people are buying it. I think that they're just waiting to hear what's in it.
Can't you go to the public library and get it for free?
Yeah. Hey, shout out to DC Public Libraries. Go check out.
And Racine's reading room.
Yes, that is the shadiest. That is the shadiest way though to like say like if you don't like someone's book, go check out their new book at the DC Public Library. That is so shady.
But Anthony,
You're welcome.
Lord have
but
mercy.
Anthony,
Yes.
what if she has something in there that could potentially take down Trump?
It's
So
not in the book. It's not in the book.
yeah, it's
Then why she
definitely
write
not
it
in the
for?
book because
Then
they
why
would
she
probably
write
kill
it?
her.
Because
She's
everybody
irrelevant.
thinks they have something important to say.
So
She's
she
irrelevant.
talks about how Trump allegedly hit on her, how
I
he
believe that.
allegedly uses the N-word, how
I
she has
believe
a
that.
tape of him using the N-word.
I
Which
believe
she
that.
refused to play on TV. But
No,
that's
because
another thing.
that's for court. That's for court.
Well,
The
actually,
lawyers
what they
told her.
did, they had a video of Omarosa with several other, catch this, black female leaders,
I'm
and
sorry,
they were
what?
actually discussing the tape of him using the N-word.
What?
This was allegedly pre-election.
What?
So they knew that there was a tape, and they still worked for Donald Trump. That's the thing.
Pre-POTUS?
Is he the POTUS? I don't even like to call him that. Pre-Orange Agent Orange.
This water is so good.
Isn't it? And water is wet.
Well, let's not go there. It's too
Yeah,
soon.
that's too soon.
Yo, so
Too early.
yeah, he actually. So when she came out with the book, she made all of these allegations, and he literally called her a dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which he has a record of calling black women dogs.
Right.
And disparaging
poor
African Americans in the news.
Yeah.
And that is unacceptable, even for
Yes.
Omarosa.
It is.
Omarosa.
I would agree.
I agree.
That is unacceptable. But also, I am a comedian, and I do have a warped sense of humor. And I saw this this meme, and it was hilarious.
Oh.
The internet has no chill.
Sorry.
Not sorry.
Yo, that was hilarious. Well, I saw that and I cried. Shout out to Dion the comedian for sending me that. That was amazing. But
You
enough.
know what? You have to laugh because if you don't, like, if you really analyze the place
Oh.
that we're at right now,
No,
so
it's
we
sad.
have to laugh about it, guys.
You have
Yeah,
to,
you
and laughter
have
is good
to.
for the soul. It is so good. But
Yeah.
moving on from trash. What up, Art White? T. Detrice, thank you for tuning in. No, so here's an epidemic. If we could make the screen larger on me, please. Here's something that's going on with drug addiction. So there's this new thing. It's called K2. It's actually not all that new. It's called K2. It's a synthetic weed. I have actually tried K2 before because I didn't know that that's what it was. I did. Somebody's like, oh, I got a blunt, but they were on, and like that. So that's why you never smoke what you don't see rolled. And this was years ago.
Point taken.
Yeah, never smoke what you don't see rolled. So this is easily accessible. Kids can get it. Gas stations right beside your
what?
Viagra pills.
Gas station.
They sell them. Yeah, they sell them at the gas station.
Okay, so,
So-
that's what?
Yeah,
No.
so it's synthetic weed. You buy it and you roll it up like weed and you smoke it.
It's synthetic weed.
It's synthetic weed.
So it gives
It
you
is
this-
literally mind altering. When I smoked
So
it,
it's psychotic?
I instantly knew that something was not right.
Right.
I instantly knew because the people they were laughing, but literally it looks like it felt like they were like demons. Like how like they're
Whoa,
laughing
yes.
and your
That's-
perception is warped.
yes.
So you're like, what is going on here?
Yes.
Like it was completely
That's a
mind
bad
blowing.
trip.
Definitely. So I can only imagine if underage people got a hold of
Oh
this.
my god.
I can't imagine the repercussions from that. Also, if you put that article back up, I think more than 70 people. Can you imagine? First of all, this is a huge park. It's kind of like
Well,
the
what is
park.
the overdose though? I thought you couldn't overdose on weed.
So it's not
That's
weed.
And remember, it's
So
synthetic
you're
weed,
smoking
first of
it.
all. Right.
Say
It's
like
it's a substance. It's
Yes.
a substance.
you don't feel the repercussions until after you've smoked it.
Wow.
So you're smoking it like, ooh, this is weed, and then boom, you're a cartoon character,
Oh,
and not
that
the good
won't do.
kind.
That won't do.
And it's
No,
You know,
it's not.
it's kind of hard actually because my nephew was on K2
Mm-hmm.
and was addicted to it and had so many problems afterwards that he got kicked out of the house, etc. because of K2. It's horrible.
And one of the things we don't talk about is how highly addictive it is. I work at the health department here in DC and was talking with some colleagues about it. I mean, in a time period, we know of at least 300 cases here in DC of people who have overdosed on K2. Add to that, there are a number of people who have overdosed on K2 and from being released from the hospital, went back to get some more.
What?
So this
I'm
is some serious
confused.
stuff.
I'm very confused.
It's addiction. That's the nature of addiction. So
Wow. That's
So
not
they're
cool.
trying to ban it, what's taking so long? But
yeah.
can you imagine them getting calls from a park where 70? That's a good crowd. That's a large crowd of people.
It's
70
also-
people were overdosing on this, and they had to take them to the hospital.
but that also tells you how accessible it is because it's a cheaper substance to get.
Yes.
So it's
Oh my
cheaper.
gosh.
So therefore it's more easily accessible. So that's part of the problem as
So
well.
when you overdose, you just fall out, or you just go into like an acid trip, or what is?
It's
I don't
it's
understand.
hallucinogenic.
Seizures.
Yeah.
If you see it, I mean, just as I don't know.
That's
It's
not
hard to
cool.
describe, 'cause
That's
I've seen
not
people
cool.
on it and it's like they spaced out. It stinks.
Oh, yeah. But there's a lot of stank weed out there. I'm sorry.
But you know,
My neighbor smokes some stank weed. I need to check into that and see if he's on that K2.
Yeah, you should. Like, definitely. It is something that is a dilemma that they're gonna, an epidemic that they have to take care of.
Oh, man.
So,
Can't even have good weed.
yeah, they just need to legalize weed. Like, why get the fake stuff when the real stuff is readily accessible and you won't have the after effects or the side effects?
Yeah.
Could be economic, but still.
It's
True.
economic. Yeah, it's
True.
economics for
Yeah,
sure.
true. But moving on, I went to Martha's Vineyard last week for
I
an
know
entire
that was
week.
wonderful.
For an entire week, it was for the African American Film Festival.
Yeah.
I have some pictures that I took.
Yes.
Yeah, taco meat out, taco meat, taco meat, taco meat.
Both of
see
them.
a
Both of the
theme going
shells.
on here.
Both of the shells.
Yeah, I was at Inkwell Beach. If you know the popular movie, The Inkwell,
Yes.
even though it was filmed in North Carolina, but it was supposed to be
precisely.
at
Thank you.
Oak Bluffs.
Truth teller.
It was an amazing time. There's something to be said about melanin. Because it is magical.
It
Yes.
is magical.
I would agree.
Yes.
Let me tell you. So this right here, I went to see the Hate You Give. It's a book by Angie. I can't think of her last name, but they've made it into a movie. And the lead actress is the girl who played. I think her name was Bree on The Hunger Games, the black girl
Yes.
who died.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she's in this, and the trailer is phenomenal. The movie is about she lives in the hood basically, but she goes to a private school. So it's about her having to switch back and forth, and then she finds a love interest who they are pulled over by the police. The love interest gets shot.
Whoa.
It's very relevant to today.
Yeah.
It's moving. It's it's Angie Thomas, The Hate You Give. It's spellbinding. But most of all about Martha's Vineyard. In the summertime, they've been doing this for 80 years. At 7:30 in the morning, they have a group called the Polar Bears. They go out in the water. That's yeah, we'll come back to those pictures. Yeah, if we could just take them off of slide though, so that I could bring them out. Okay, yeah. So it's called the Polar Bears. You become inducted. They go out into the water. They make a huge circle. They exercise, they commune, they network, they talk about what's going on the island. You get all the haps on the parties. Then when the new people, which was me because I'd never done it before, they bring you in an inner circle in the water. And then you go through this induction, and it's super secret, so I can't divulge what the induction is.
Right.
Understood.
Okay.
I don't want to get cooked out because you're a polar bear for life once you are inducted.
Wow.
There you go.
Then you turn around and you have to hug every single last person in the circle.
In the circle.
wow.
It was
in the
150
circle,
people.
In the circle, in the water at 7:30 a.m.
7:30 a.m.
It's still cold.
That's dedication.
That's why they call them polar bears.
Oh, that's interesting.
And black people
Were
in
there?
the cold water. That's who it is.
Again, dedication.
Yes.
So,
Wetsuit.
Yeah, wetsuit.
but the commune of it, just the communion alone, just being with your people,
And also
at
hugging
the festival.
people.
Yes, 150 people
like
in the
hugging.
water.
Yeah.
It was mind-blowing.
And
If you
warm.
ever get a chance to go to Martha's Vineyard, I was in Oak Bluff, Inkwell Beach. It is amazing. And now, with those pictures, I saw Janelle. It was one where we were in front of a step and repeat. Me and Janae West.
You know what? We're supposed to get 10 touches a day.
We are.
It was
You
in
really
front of a
baked
sign,
those.
like the
Yes, that
African American
case is
Film
called
Festival
that.
sign.
Thank you. I was
A
like,
step and repeat.
when in doubt.
Will it doubt? She got it. Look.
Yep, there you go, right there. So this is Janae West.
Okay.
She's doing. She did a web series. It's called Grown. Grown, the web series. Please check it out. It's a coming of age series about young black women who are finding themselves. I was in the pilot episode. We shot it right up here at Sankofa. Shout out to Sankofa.
Okay.
And she was at the film festival. They accepted her submission, and so she'll probably debut that next year. But she's going on tour to shop it around the country, so I'm super excited about that. So you can check out Grown the web series on Facebook, and you can Google it. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back with American Leather Woman. Don't get away from me, American Leather Woman. Let me be. Welcome to Lock Love Salon. We're located at 402 8th Street Northeast, Washington, D.C., right in the heart of the capital. Come in, let me introduce you. Welcome to Lock Love Salon. We here at Lock Love are an award-winning natural hair care salon that focuses on natural hair care and lock artistry. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea.
It's Thursday night tea.
With Anthony. Thursday night tea with Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy, community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. With Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony.
Listen vision, listen vision. DC's number one.
We are back.
That's my chain over there.
Yo. We've had quite an interesting show today, to say the least. Thank you all for tuning in. I love you all for tuning in for Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. And with me, I have the amazing American Leather Woman, Jackie Thompson.
Hello.
Hello, Jackie.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
You know what? It's been an interesting couple of minutes. I'm a little flabbergasted.
Yes.
But fabulous.
leathery.
But fabulous.
Yes. That's the
And
only
leathery.
way to be. Fabulous and flabbergasted. I like that. I like that terminology. Jackie, where you from?
I'm actually from a little town called Poolsville, Maryland.
Poolsville, Maryland. Do they go swimming a lot there?
No, it's
No?
this John Pool guy.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, everyone wants to know leather. You know, when you think about, like, I didn't know that even there was a leather community. As we all know, my partner Kevin is into the leather community, even though he's vegan, so he doesn't really wear the leather. He just likes the community. But we went to the MAL weekend conference, weekend, and it was mind-blowing.
Really?
The
Good.
diversity. The
Yes.
diversity is not just about leather. Like, everybody's in leather and everybody's sweaty, and you know what I'm saying? It's just,
that is
I mean, there were people dressed up in different types of garb.
Yes.
There were people, I saw things like people, sports gear, costumes.
Yes, furries.
I thought it was gonna be a bunch of like vests and chaps out, like you got your chaps on, the butt is out.
Yeah.
But it was a lot. It was a smorgasbord of different things. People were in costumes, having a super good time. I found out about different types of leather relationships. Like, there were people with puppy mask on, and they had the little
Handlers,
leashes. Yes,
yes.
handlers and.
Yes, puppies and handlers and daddies and boys and masters. And, yeah.
It's so much. It's the terminology, the vernacular. Now, how did you get started in the leather community?
I started off going to Tracks, actually.
Oh, Tracks were here?
Yeah.
Yo, Tracks DC. Shout out to Tracks DC.
Rest in peace,
Oh
Tracks
my
DC.
goodness.
Rest in
I
peace.
missed that place.
Yeah, right.
Love tracks.
The
want to
studio
say
is
back
lit.
in '98, something like that. I went to Trax, and Bound, which was a BDSM night, was just wrapping up. I went to Trax as usual. This time I had brought my aunt with me.
Okay, shout out to Auntie. Aunt Leather.
That's true. That's true. And somebody approached us and said that their slave wanted to be humiliated by two black women. That was their fantasy. That was.
But we're not talking about Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. We're talking about leather slaves, submission slaves.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes, yes.
Difference, big
Yes.
difference.
Yeah.
Master slave. Big difference there.
Yeah.
And so from that night, we had a great time. We were both introduced, let me try that again, into this other world of bondage and sex and kink, and it was hot. Still to this day, my aunt will call me, we have different names for each other. And so my nickname is Sluttiker.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Come
Was
through,
that
Sluttiker.
yeah? Sluttiker.
Sluttiker.
I love that Sluttiker.
Right, but I call her whorelicker. So
Come through whore liquor.
Come through.
Come
so
You whore liquor.
yes.
Pickle me, kumquat.
It was kind of the reason why is she had, shorts kind of like Kevin.
Well, now let's see what Kevin has on. Kevin, can we see your
yes.
shorts?
Come on,
Yes.
come around here,
Thrill
Kevin.
the nation. Thrill the nation.
So that we can get a visual.
Right here. And
Turn around.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Get the shorts. You can't get the shorts.
Yeah, we need to see the shorts.
You want to see the shorts? Come.
You need the
come.
whole effect. Pun intended.
There you go, he got me.
He got you?
He got you. Yeah.
In front of
Come
the
from
booth,
behind.
From
Come.
the box?
Whoop,
From
whoop.
the box?
Right.
Got
Okay, Kevin.
I didn't think so.
you? You know Kevin is giving us all of it.
All of
I was
it.
here for it.
We got
Whore liquor
taco
had
meat,
some
we got salad, we
Shorts
got all
that
of it.
had less jeans than that.
Then that. There were threads, basically.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, threads that, she became whorelicker.
Okay.
It was, no.
So from that point on, you said, hey, this is something that I want to be a part of. So what made you want to compete? Now, what's the name of the contest?
This one is American Brotherhood Weekend.
American Brotherhood Weekend.
Correct. It happened.
And there's one coming up.
Yes, in October. In Chicago, October 5, 6, and 7. We're going to have 3 contests, the American Leather Woman, the American Leather Man, as well as the American Leather Boy. And so we are actively looking for contestants as well. So.
All right.
I know.
Now, when do you give up your sash?
I give up the sash on Sunday, but the actual competition starts Friday with sort of like a meet and greet, which happened at MAL. And then there's a contest on Saturday and a contest on Sunday. But you had originally asked me what it was that made me decide to compete. This title for me was very important because it's about community. It's about community service, working for your community and representing in lesser known communities. So I've been to like Kansas City. I've taken this from everywhere from DC to Portland and Seattle.
Yeah.
Next up, I think I'm going to San Juan in Hawaii.
What?
Just because, yes. That was my own personal goal
Bring
for this
the
title.
leather to the beach.
That if I actually had won it, that I wanted to hit, all 4 sections of the U.S. So I've done the Northeast. I've done Portland, Seattle, even Alaska. Forgot
Okay.
that one. Then I want to hit San Juan, and then I want to also hit Hawaii. So
Aloha.
Aloha, yeah.
Yo, that is amazing. Tell me about Highwaymen.
Sure. The Highwaymen is a Leather Levi club. It's been around for 40 years. Yeah, this is our 35-year pen. This year is actually 40.
All right,
40.
40 years. So it's the Highwaymen.
So it's the Highwaymen TNT, which stands for Trash and Travel. And it is, just like for you, MAL, the Highwaymen were diverse because when I was looking for a leather club, I wanted something that represented me. So it needed to have different races. It needed to have, tops and bottoms. It needed to have boys and girls, it needed to have just such a mix. And then it also helped that they were trashy because we like to have fun and throw sex parties. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, that part sounds super interesting.
And
Trashy.
And
Taco
travel.
meat, come
Hey,
taco meat.
can anyone join? I mean, are you accepting members? How do people get involved? How do people get involved with
Sure
what you're
thing.
doing?
For which part? The Highwaymen or for the ABW?
For both.
Okay, fair enough. So for the Highwaymen, coming to our bar nights at the DC Eagle, which is usually the third.
Shout out to
Saturday.
DC Eagle.
Yes, most definitely. We also have a hot jock contest on the second Thursday of every month. And then we also have the Saturday of every month where we have a bar night.
Okay.
And then there's also our meetings on the third Sunday. So there's that. How to get involved with ABW? Come find me on Facebook. It's
Yes.
real easy.
That's what I was gonna say. Tell them where they can find you on Facebook.
It's just Jackie Thompson. I look like my profile picture, which is rare, I know, but I do. And just for that, I think I'll change it. Just put this one up, just so you can recognize me. Just do me a favor, because I get a lot of different friend requests from people in other countries I don't know about. Just send me a note that says, "Hey, I saw you on Tea with Anthony," and just ask questions. I'm here to help. I'm here to provide whatever answers you need for any kind of questions, because it's all about community, right?
Good deal. Give Jackie a round of applause. I want to thank her so much for coming and speaking to her. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Rod McCoy, who was American Leather Man.
The sash chain.
Sash chain.
Yes.
And we'll be right back.
Studio.
Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea.
It's Thursday night tea.
With Anthony. Thursday night tea with Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. With Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony.
Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. We are back with more Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. So shout out to MJ Smith. MJ is watching. Gwen Pridgeon, I love you. Lola, I love you. Thank you. Marcus Keith, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all. We have Rod McCoy. He
Hey,
is
everybody.
American Leatherman. I like that title, American Leatherman.
Thank you.
You have to say it like that, Leatherman.
It rolls off your tongue.
Leatherman. Leatherman.
I'll just say thank you, Anthony.
Where you from, Rod?
Actually, I'm from New York City,
Okay, New
Born
York,
and
the
bred.
Big Apple.
born and bred in Brooklyn.
All right,
and
BK.
in the house. In the house. So I've been living in the D.C. area now for 15 years.
Okay.
So fun fact, Jackie and I, Sash Chain that you just saw earlier, we only live about 15 minutes apart from each other.
That's weird.
And we did not know when we only found out, I think, about a month before the actual competition that we were running. So yeah,
That's so cool.
we didn't
Now,
know
you
that.
know, in my mind, when I first heard that the other day, in my
Uh-huh.
mind, I've envisioned you both like going out to get the newspaper first thing in the morning, wearing nothing but your sashes, and then you bend down and you look and say, "Oh, look at you! Oh, we both live here." But I'm sure that's not how it happened.
No, actually, what did happen was we had what we called the Breakfast of Champions, where I think a week before,
The weekend before, yeah.
the weekend before, we went to Chicago to compete.
Mm-hmm.
We had what we later called the Breakfast of Champion, where we talked about what we wanted to say, what we wanted to do, any final advice that we wanted to give to each other, any support that we needed. So yeah, we took pictures, and after we came back, we posted pictures of that breakfast and called it the Breakfast of Champions.
That's
so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
The irony in that is
Yes,
uncanny.
leather family.
Okay,
Yes,
leather, la la la.
family.
And you know, it's very interesting. I just heard Nikki in the background say Leather Family, and I didn't want it to get left out that what's so significant about Jackie and I being the American Leather Family for this year, we're the first all-black leather family for American Brotherhood Weekend in its 28-year history.
Congratulations. Look at you and Jackie breaking records.
Breaking
That's-
it, breaking it.
Making
And
history.
you know, exactly. And when we talk about reasons for running, I'll say for myself, the last African American man to hold this title was 12 years ago, and his name was BK, Black Cat.
What?
So I want to give him a shout out.
Shout out to
we
Black
love
Cat.
you. I love you, BK.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you'll hear in the community, particularly among title holders, is a hashtag on Facebook called Representation Matters. So for me, what was very important is like, okay, no black man has won this in 12 years, and instead of complaining about it, I wanted to say, no, I wanted to do something about it.
Do
and
it.
that was my main reason for running. And to also add what Jackie said, because this is a community service title, I look at what I had done with Onyx, with other organizations in the community over the past few years, and I said, if I win this title, I think I can represent well. So
Yes. Yes.
voila.
Congratulations. And I see,
Yes,
but you put, people can talk all day long, but I like to, you could say the biblical way, faith without works is dead, but
Yes,
you
that.
could also say that put your money where your mouth is. The
Hello.
action,
There's that.
you
And
can
then there's
talk
that.
all day long, but if you don't put the action
Hello.
behind it, it's all talk.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you went and you did what you said you were going to do. And I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Thank
for
you.
visibility for African Americans.
Right.
Until people see, when you see it, it's possible.
Yes.
And being seen, it's one thing to be seen just because you want to get your own glory out of it, but it's another thing to be seen because you want to help somebody else along the way.
Yeah, inspire.
Ex-
Inspire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mentor,
And one of the things around visibility for me is that I think as black folks particularly, some of us still struggle with the fact that we may be kinky, we may want to join the larger kink community or the larger leather community, but we don't see enough of us. So then the question becomes, well, how welcoming are these communities?
True.
And so one of the things is I'm thinking back to my gay son, who's also a member of Onyx, and I served as his and his line's pledge master. And one of the things that he said that still sticks with me, the first time he went to MAL, and we're at the Hyatt Regency, and he stood at the top of the escalator, and he looked down at all the attendees, and he was like, "Where's the black people?"
They were in that back room.
No, well, depending on which day, we may
Yes.
have been under the escalator in our room having the cocktail party.
Yes,
We may
and
have
I went to
been
that.
there.
Yeah,
We may
that's-
have been
Shout
there.
out to the
That party was hype.
Gear
So,
show,
but-
Onyx, yeah.
But it's funny because that question he asked, "Where are the black people?" is the reason why, and it leads to
Onyx!
the club that I belong
Let's
to.
see it again, one more
Turn
time.
around so people can see
Yeah.
Onyx.
Stand up.
Stand up, okay.
Stand up.
Right here, Onyx.
Onyx.
So it was that same question that my son asked is the same question that the founding fathers of Onyx asked in 1995, 23 years ago.
Wow.
Where are the black folk? Where can we go without having to go on the arms of white men, where we can go, as one of our founders likes to say, in our own authority? And it's very interesting that at that time, this was like 20 years after that, we still had a young brother asking that same question.
Yeah.
So that's why visibility,
It's important.
representation is still
the
important.
show.
So
Thank you, Anthony.
Yo, that is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So what? I want to know what initially made you interested in leather. Or,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm turning 51 in 2 weeks.
Shout
Black
out to
don't
the
crack.
grown and sexy,
Good
grown
black
and
don't
sexy.
crack.
Good
shout
black
out.
don't crack unless black smokes crack, and then after that, all bets are off. You actually
Well,
age
well,
more
crack
rapidly.
is whack.
Right.
Crack is
And
whack.
then
Yeah.
there's that. But I say that because my journey started when I was 21,
Okay.
about 30 years ago, because I went to Oberlin College and was one of the peer educators on campus. So, and we worked with me and another friend of mine at the time. We worked at the Sexual Information Center, and we were going from dorm to dorm to dorm talking about sex. And someone asked my colleague what was BDSM, and she described herself as BDSM light. So as she started talking about all these things that she was into, I'm sitting there thinking, you know what, I'm kind of interested in all of this too. I need to get out of my shell and start exploring some things. So I think I've always been kinky, but I think it was, and again, my leather journey starts at MAL. Because that was
Is that where everybody starts?
many of us, I think for many of us,
Washington Hotel for me.
I'm telling you,
They locked
Washington
the whole
Plaza, that's
hotel
right,
down. They
Washington
locked
Plaza.
the whole hotel
Washington
down.
Plaza. So it was there that one of my Onyx brothers took me first to Washington Plaza to be introduced to MAL. Then he told me about these group of men out of Chicago who had like a small gathering in their hotel room. So later that night, I went up there, met the man who I later found out was Mufasa, one of the co-founders of Onyx. I met
Shout
him.
out to Mufasa.
Yes, Papa, we love you. And some of the other men out of Chicago and some of the men in D.C. I was living in New York at the time, and something in me just went, yes, I want to be a part of this. This is speaking to me. So it was years later when I finally relocated to D.C., started going to some more MALs. Mufasa approached me about starting what we called then the D.C. chapter, and I did not do this on my own. Other men, including Dominion Onyx, who a lot of people know about, Keneally, who's also known, shout out, Justin Terry Smith, De Niro, and just some other people who did the work. And I do want to say their names: Reggie, Mark, Sir Charles, Boy Jalen. We were the ones who worked together to start what is now called Onyx Mid-Atlantic.
Now, how do people get involved with Onyx?
Well, first of all, when you hear that we have an event coming up, like on August 31st at our home bar, the Green Lantern, we have a bar night. The first thing you do is you come to our events. And the reason why we say that is because we want you to get a sense of who we are, and we'd also like to get a sense of who you are.
Understandable.
Come to the events. If you feel that this is a group for you, our chapter is for you, we start the pledging process. Let me see if I can get this right. Applications are open now, and pledging starts if your interviews are in late October, early November. At which point, if you go through the interview and you're accepted, I believe December or January. January is usually when we start the pledge process. It's roughly about 4 months. It's 4 months of classes, 4 months of activity, 4 months of participating in Onyx events. Because again, we want to see who you are as your own Leatherman, as your own Kingster. We also want to see how you gel as an Onyx man. We also want to see how you work with your big brother and the other brothers in not only in the organization, but also in the community. Are you interested in venturing out into the community? If so, what are your gifts? What are your talents? What do you bring? How are you going to build up the community? How are you going to build up Onyx? How are you going to grow yourself? These are the things that our pledge process really wants to tease out to get a sense before you cross over.
Rod, now, is there anything else that you want to disseminate to our viewers about the leather community?
And the reason why I said that is because there's a lot about the leather community. What I would like to say to folks is that if you're interested and you want to ask questions, I can be found on Facebook. You can find me at either Rod Onyx or Rodney McCoy. I am at both of those.
Okay.
Let me see. If you want to find out about Onyx, you can go to www.onyxmen.com. If you hear of any events going on in the community, we've got contests coming up real soon. Go to them. Don't be afraid. I'm also going to do the plug about American Brotherhood Weekend because Jackie and I want you at our party, which will be on that Thursday, October 4th.
October 4th?
In Chicago.
Okay.
There's going to be a party in honor of Jackie and myself, and then the 5th through the 7th is the contest. Our step aside is that Sunday, October 7th. We want you there. We've got surprises for y'all.
Yes.
So we do, really.
Yes.
And also
More
not just to
tacos?
attend, but we want people to compete. If you think you have what it takes, and I'm not being funny, I'm being for real. If you think you have what it takes to nationwide do community service, to promote the title, to encourage leather folks across the country, if not around the world. This title is for you. It's about family. It's about service, community service, building, creating, helping to create community, or supporting the community that's already involved. Big cities, small towns, wherever.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rod McCoy,
Thank you.
American Leather Man. Yo, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Nikki so we can talk about some items that she has from Comfort Zone. Stay tuned for more Thursday Night Tea with Anthony.
It's Thursday Night Tea.
With Anthony. Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. With Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. We are here with Nikki. Let me get you a mic right quick, Nikki. Okay. So you can hold.
You can just make that the only camera, actually.
There you go.
It's always a pleasure. It's always,
It's on.
It's always a pleasure to be on Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Every time we come, we always serve up something hot. Look at these amazing American leather people. All right? And we brought a few artifacts that might be of interest to you. 2-finger floggers, harnesses, paddles that have a soft and hard side, silicone paddles, which are always an advantage because you can sanitize these easily. And then, that's called a lollipop or a Sata stick. It's a way to give, that's great. That's great.
Demonstrate the paddle, the silicone.
Oh, well, we could do that, Anthony. I'm going to let you go ahead. Yes, there we go. There, that was a nice way to start the day, isn't it? Well, wait a minute, maybe not a little bit harder. We only have a few minutes. But I did want to say, this particular paddle, the uniqueness of it, it's dual functioning, so it's an insertable as well as a slapper. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the material. I just recently learned that alligator skin is also considered part of the skin family. So anytime you're playing with leather, you can still consider alligator skin part of that. So at the Comfort Zone, we carry a wide array of toys and materials. Please join us. Please go to comfortzonemd.com or Comfort Zone MD on any social media platform. Come visit us. We're open 7 days a week. We're here to help you not only look amazing, not to make your taco meat shine. We can do that. Come and visit us so you can have a full meal plan. All right? Comfort Zone MD on all social media platforms and comfortzonemd.com, guys. We can't wait to spend time with you. I'd like to pass the mic to Jackie and Rod because there are two really important events that are coming up. Come visit us at Comfort Zone and then party with Jackie and Rod later this month.
1 minute. Go ahead.
So we have the Capitol Bus Crawl, which is happening September 15th. It's also my birthday. Woo! So thank you.
Swinging around like a helicopter.
It starts from the DC Eagle, then it takes a group of folks up to the Philly Bike Stop and back to DC Eagle, all in one night.
Yes, Philly Bike Stop, shout out.
So just look at, for Facebook, Capitol Bus Crawl, and you'll find it there.
Later this year, we're going to be doing a fundraiser, Words Are All We Have, myself, and Gray Onyx, who was Mr. DC Eagle 2017. So it will be spoken and sung word at the Green Lantern. Details to be announced on social media.
Yo, I'd like to thank everyone who came by the Thursday Night Tea. Shout out to Nikki. Give Nikki a round of applause. For what she helped me America Loves a Woman and America Loves a Man here to my show. I appreciate Rod and Jackie. Always Kevin, D, thank you, Jeremy, Rahel, I love you all. MJ for stopping by. Stay tuned for Spotlight over the CD. They're next. I don't know if they'll have on leather, but we'll see.
Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Thursday Night Tea. Thursday